I'm hearing Democrats are preparing in the Senate perhaps to cave.
I have not heard that. I would not be surprised if that was the case because they already they lost like 3 or 4 votes yesterday. Um, I don't know. I think it would be a mistake for Democrats to cave right now because if you were just going to cave day one, why would you not just do this in the beginning and just pass a clean CR or an extension? It's just another example of like put up a fight and then get everybody revved up for it and then cave in the end.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Why do they always do that? Look, right now, I think they said that they're preparing maybe for a short term one that expires before open enrollment for healthcare, so that they can work on it then. But why would you ever trust the Republicans right
I
now? I
wouldn't.
mean, look what happened in April when Chuck Schumer did what he did. I mean, why would you trust that they will actually come back and do something meaningful?
No, well, they're not. You cannot trust this version of the Republican Party for a bunch of reasons. Like, one, congressional Republicans will not stand up to Donald Trump. So whatever he wants, he gets. He sets the tone. He sets the agenda for them. Really, let's be clear, Stephen Miller sets the agenda for what's happening in Washington right now because he's in complete control. But you can't trust these people. I mean, it's a very simple fix. They could have sat down with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, struck a deal to keep the government open to prevent tens of millions of Americans from seeing their healthcare premiums go up. They didn't do that. So if Democrats drew a line in the sand and they're just going to fold 24 hours in, I think we validate to the American people that the Democratic Party doesn't have a lot of fight in it at a time when people want us to fight.
Then what? Then now what? What's this? Well, look, what can they do? Congress is not even there.
Right.
So what does this mean then?
I don't know. Republicans haven't even been showing up to work this week. So they're going to have to call everybody back to pass a clean CR if they, or an extension, whatever they decide to do here. But I don't know. I don't know. This is going to further create tension with the Democratic Party base in particular that wants to see Democrats fight in Washington. Like, look, fairly or unfairly, and I would argue that it's fairly, like Democrats campaigned against Donald Trump as a fascist, and they have not fought against him as a fascist for the most part. And you're seeing that play out, and it's created a tension in the party that I think is going to get a lot of people thrown overboard here.
Yeah. Did you see the thing about Russell Vought and the $18 billion in New York City that he said he's going to withhold because of
I did.
DEI, unlawful DEI policies as it relates to the Holland Tunnel? There's some Holland Tunnel work that needs to be done, the Second Avenue subway. He's going to withhold that because of unlawful DEI policies. Does this have anything to do with the shutdown, or is just that is this just the Trump administration being the Trump administration?
Yeah, I think it's the Trump administration being the Trump administration. Like, I think that they would have done that regardless. And I mean, look, imagine Joe Biden or Barack Obama withholding tens of millions of dollars from a project in Mississippi or Alabama or Oklahoma and saying, hey, Oklahoma, you're not going to get this $20 million to fix this bridge that collapsed or fix these roads until you fix your schools that are dead last in America. And that actually, I'm talking myself into doing that mid-sentence because that's maybe the type of power Democrats need to use to get Republicans to give a shit about what's going on in their states. But we're watching a president and an administration that is increasingly out of touch with the day-to-day lives of most Americans, a president that is increasingly unpopular, but gaining more and more power with nobody in Washington willing to stand up to them. The judiciary isn't standing up to him. Supreme Court's letting him do whatever the hell he wants. And this is going to keep getting worse until somebody somewhere stands up to him or Democrats start winning some goddamn elections.
Okay, so you're a Democratic advisor, am I correct?
Yep.
Strategist. Can you take us in?
So-called.
Can you take us inside the minds of Democrats right now in Washington? Okay, the Senate. What are they thinking? And I got another question after that.
Okay. I mean, I think they're trying to figure out the best way to try to get something done while also get back in the graces of the American people by showing who they're fighting for and what they're fighting for. But they're not able to do it. And we have a bunch of tactical problems. Like yesterday, I have a lot of tactical problems with what House Democrats were doing. I don't know if you saw this, but they posted like a selfie of them all together at work. And then they hosted a press conference together where every House Democrat was standing in solidarity with one another to show that they were working. And I think these are old, outdated tactics that don't work. What they should have done was have every single member of the Democratic caucus on TV, on influencer shows like ours, on YouTube, on social media, repeating and repeating and creating narrative dominance, which is what Sarah Longwell called it on my show on Monday, to repeat over and over again who Democrats are fighting for, what we're fighting for, and what's happening. That didn't happen here. So we're still acting like it's 1995 in the way that we put our communication strategies together. Meanwhile, Republicans are in lock, sync, and in unison right now, arguing that Democrats are fighting for illegal aliens, which we are not doing right now. There's zero evidence of it. It's complete and total fabrication. So we can't create that kind of narrative dominance right now. And the reason we can't do it is because half of the Democratic caucus, God love every one of them, they can't do it. They can't appear on a show like yours and I and talk like a regular person about what's going on. And it is killing the Democratic Party right now that we can't do that.
So now let me ask you about in Congress. No, I want to talk to you about John Fetterman.
Okay.
So what is John Fetterman thinking? What is Mastos thinking? I think it was King, right? The three
Yeah, King,
Democrats.
Mastos, and yeah. Well, I mean, King is playing his usual game. King is an independent, so he's going to be a little bit of an independent. He likes to show it every now and again. Mastos just always in a tough race. Like she won her last race by like by like very few votes. So I think she's just playing that game, and that's okay because you have room to spare. I don't need unity out of the Democratic caucus. I need them to be articulating what they're fighting for. With Fetterman, like Fetterman's out there on everything. I think if you try to find some logic to it, it's that Fetterman's coalition in Pennsylvania is very different than any other Democratic candidate in the state. It relies on a lot of like Republican-oriented rural voters. So his coalition is very similar to a MAGA coalition in the sense that it just draws from different places, and that's how he was able to win in a bad year for Democrats. So that's the most generous interpretation of it. But I think I think he's just setting himself up for whatever he wants to do next. I hear he may be running for president. I hear he's not running for re-election. His staff is basically gone from him. I wouldn't be shocked at anything right now. I wouldn't be shocked if he switched parties right now, even though he still votes with Democrats like 88% of the time. So I don't think he's a Republican, but on this stuff, like he ain't with us.
Did you know him before he had his injury?
I had met him before, but I didn't know him like well.
Is he a different person now, you think?
I don't know. Like, I don't know him enough to know that, but I will tell you that there were a lot of us who worked for other people in that primary and tried to warn the base of the Democratic Party, the like left-wing consulting class that rallied behind Fetterman, that they were rallying behind somebody who didn't really believe in their cause, and they did not want to listen. And that just is what it is. I mean, I am not a card-carrying member of the like far left of the party. I kind of have like one foot in both worlds. I'm very flexible in my mindset. I just want to get shit done and win elections. But I warned a lot of my friends who went to go work for Fetterman and were like, "He's the future. This is amazing." And I'm like, if you go look at what this guy says, and you go look at what he's done, and you go look at how his family made their money, because he's not the poor Carhartt wearing individual that he is. By the way, Carhartt is incredibly expensive. As a brand. So it's sort of like it's rich shit that's designed to make you look poor. And by the way, I love a good Carhartt hoodie. This is probably a Carhartt vest, to be honest with you. But he's always been a bit of a poser to me. I don't know if the stroke affected him at all, from a policy internal perspective, but I think he's always kind of been like this.
Yeah. When people have, oftentimes, I believe when people have, incidents like this, they change somewhat. Well, what's his name changed? The doctor was a black doctor, is a Republican now. He was
Ben
head of,
Carson?
yeah, Ben Carson. He was head of Health and Human Services, not Health and Human Services, HUD. He was head of
Yeah.
HUD, Housing and Urban Development. And if you look at Ben Carson from the 90s, and then compared to Ben Carson now, it's not even the same person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? After he had brain surgery.
The only two things I know about Ben Carson are these hands, which I just will never forget that ad that he put out. And then the thing about the Egyptian pyramids holding grain, because that was like his conspiracy theory that all they did was held grain and they didn't do anything else. I just was just like, that guy just always said some of the damnedest shit. There's like Herman Cain is another one where it was like I sort of like loved them from like they would just say some shit. So, and I grew up in Nebraska, so I knew Herman Cain pretty well because he's the founder of Godfather's Pizza.
999, my 999 plan. But you know what? Poor Herman Cain. I mean, he went to a Trump rally, didn't he, without a mask, and then
He got COVID and died. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
but
End of sentence.
No more. Stop. Okay.
It's not funny. It's not funny, but
No,
like,
it's not funny. No, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at your reaction.
I'm just laughing at the absurdity of the whole thing. It's like you get. I mean, look, I wrote about this last week in one of my rants, but it's Donald Trump has created this single source of truth and morality for so many people in this country, and he gets so many people killed or hurt because of it, and then takes no responsibility. I mean, Herman Cain is dead because he believed Trump that COVID could not, that COVID wasn't real, that it was basically the flu, and then he got it and he died as what was he, like a 76-year-old man, right? So he would have been prime for like dying in that environment. So I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for his family.
Yeah. But I mean, the flu kills people too, right? So even if you think it's the flu, you should protect yourself because the flu can be deadly as well. Anyway,
Right.
I move on. So since we're here then, let's talk about healthcare because that's at the center of the Democrats' argument.
You want to talk about Tylenol? It's Advil.
That's Advil. No, that's at the center of the Democrats' argument.
Did I get it right? What is it?
Aceta. How do I say this?
That's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was so funny though.
We've all been there, but not like, I mean, usually one would think if you're going to do something like that, you would read your notes. Wouldn't you think like, I got to get out there?
I would have practiced it a few times. I mean, to me, that's like when I see a really long last name, like a Ukrainian Russian last name. And I'm like, there's some consonants there I don't know how to pronounce. And I'm like, I don't want to offend this person.
I know. I just say, I should have it.
Yeah.
I hope I said your name properly. If not, I apologize. And then just keep moving. The moment you try to keep sounding it out, it's like,
They should bring back the, what's that Key and Peele sketch where the inner city teacher goes to work in like a white town and starts pronouncing everybody's name differently. So it's not Aaron. It's like Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
You seen that? Yeah. They should do that, like bring that back, but do it with like common medicines.
That's Keenan. That's not Keenan. That's Keys. What's his name?
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele. It's what and he's a friend. Can you believe? I just messed up. It's Key. How do you say Keenan?
You're confusing him with Kel from the 90s, Don. Like
Aaron.
Aaron.
That's what we're talking about. So healthcare, that's what's holding Democrats up. They said they want the tax cuts, or the tax breaks, incentives, I should say, for the ACA, and they want to make sure.
Subsidies. There are subsidies that are keeping healthcare costs lower for most Americans.
So that's where we are right now. That doesn't seem like an unreasonable thing to ask for.
No, I don't think anything that they're asking for is unreasonable here. There's basically three things Democrats are asking for right now. They want to get one hand back on the wheel for Congress on tariffs because tariffs are making everything more expensive. They want to reverse the cuts in the Republican budget that are incredibly damaging and super unpopular, which we like cuts to cancer research for kids and cuts for school lunches and cuts for community policing. They cut $2 billion for community policing. There'll be fewer cops on the streets with this Republican budget. And then the healthcare subsidies. Like the average person who's on ACA might see like a 300% increase in their health insurance premiums. Like that is not good for anybody. Plus, in the Republican budget, they kicked 20 million Americans off of their healthcare. So the Democrats are fighting for that. They're not necessarily doing a very good job of messaging that. So I don't know if it's breaking through for most people, but also, Donald Trump and the Republican Party are in charge of Washington. They have complete control of Congress. And the last two times this happened with a shutdown, Trump was in control with both chambers in Congress. So I alone can fix it. Where'd that guy go in this instance? He should be able to bring people together and get the government running, but he can't do it.
Yeah. RP2112 in the comments. Thank you. She said it's Keegan. I know. I just shorthanded it. And by the way, Keegan is a good friend. He and his wife, Elle. And if they see this, they'll be like, did Don have a brain part right there? I just saw them the other night. So let's talk about that. You talked about I alone can fix this and the Trump economy. And these are the people that they are entrusting to be able to put the right sort of legislation or whatever it takes into a CR. Did you see the new jobs numbers by ADP?
Yeah, they're awful. Like negative 32,000.
Yeah, from 32,000 down to minus 3,000.
Well, that was 52,000 down to negative 3,000, I think, for last month, and negative 32,000 this month. Yeah. I mean, we are bleeding jobs. And if you look at the jobs that we're creating right now, we're creating way more part-time jobs than we are creating full-time jobs. So likely what's happening is you have multiple people working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. So the economy's in rough shape. And I'll point out, there was an inflation report that was supposed to come out about 2 weeks ago, and they delayed it for unknown reasons, and they have not put that report out. And there'll be no jobs report out tomorrow because of the shutdown, which in past shutdowns, they have released job numbers before, but they are not doing that here.
So no matter how hard he tries, even when he fires the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and he gets his own person in there, his own, what would you call him, a numericist or whatever you
Well,
would
but he
call
can't get him in. Did you see it? That's a Senate confirmed
Yes.
appointment, and they had to withdraw that guy because they picked some guy who, one, grossly not qualified for the job, total political operative, so he could cook the books, and then two, he apparently ran a secret anti-Kamala Harris Twitter account that was like incredibly sexist and racist, and so even the Senate Republicans were like, we're not going to confirm this guy, and there's good reason for it too, because if you are a Senate Republican and you have ties to the business community, your ability to invest in the American economy is equal to your ability to get accurate data on how the American economy is doing. So fucking over the BLS and not putting out real numbers on jobs and inflation and other things like that hurts people's ability to invest in this economy. So it's just a really stupid thing all the way around. And it makes sense to me that Senate Republicans would stand up to him on that.
So we're not going to see anything on Thursday and Friday related to jobs in the economy as we usually do in the middle of the shutdown.
Not
Because
unless they turn the government back on. That was
that's
a
a
bad
real
light
shame.
switch pantomime.
That's a real shame because then maybe people would get to know. People would know, like, wait a minute, are these the guys who are in charge? Do we believe these guys? But you know what? I don't know if it even matters.
Yeah, but Don, people know. I put it this way: is like politicians can say whatever they want about the economy. Economists can say whatever they want about the economy. I could cite the statistics. If you're looking for a job right now, you know the job market is shit. If you're trying to put food on the table or balance a household budget or buy a house or retire, you know the economy is shit, and you knew it last year too. And it's even worse than it was when Donald Trump took over. It is dramatically worse. So they can't gaslight people into believing that the economy is strong. People know, they feel it every day. Everything that happens to you in your day-to-day life when you spend $30 on a Chipotle burrito bowl, it's a daily indignity for you.
Uh, are you reading my text? Are you reading my
No.
seamless that I just ordered from, and for
No, I was just looking
$32?
at the Chipotle napkin that I had here from the lunch I had.
Oh my gosh, I just ordered it was $32, but I mean, it
Yeah, it's
was
ridiculous.
I think it was like 17 or 20, but then with all the fees on top of it, I was like, I just paid 30 or
The good news
40
is,
bucks
though,
for
I
lunch.
got a Trump Coke because these Mexican Cokes didn't exist until Donald Trump invented them, apparently. So, like, I'm
It's a
very
lot of
grateful for
sugar.
him.
It's a lot of sugar, sir.
It's the only sugar I'll have today, though. I'll be sugarless the rest of the day.
By the way, Kimmy Wynn in the comment section is right on. She goes, "No way, both of y'all together, badass." I like it.
Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Kimmy.
Whenever Mike is not too busy for me. Um,
Except for when Don's on the street interviewing people for his YouTube show.
I know I'm usually out on the street. Well, but if I postpone or cancel, it's usually I'm either traveling or I'm in DC, like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Okay,
You've been
so
crushing it, though. Everybody go subscribe to Don Lemon's YouTube page. He's absolutely crushing it right now, making so much content. You're on your way. You'll be at 1 million in like a month, right? You're at like 850,000 now?
knock on wood. I think
Yeah.
it's like
You're gonna have to put that plaque that YouTube gives you in your background when you get it. You have your one for 100,000, I
Oh no,
assume?
no, it's not 820. I think it's 920.
Is it 920?
I
Awesome.
think so. Yeah,
That's awesome.
kind of crazy, right? Somewhere in there, I think it is. Yeah, we're
I'm about to
past
cross
900.
3,000 on YouTube. Does that count?
Yeah, that does count. You're nuts, by the way. Okay, so here's the thing that the silence, right? That someone's 920. Thank you very much. 920. Sherry M. My folks are the Lemonheads, Elimination Strong. They got all the info. 920. So we got 80,000 to go. Something like that.
You'll be there.
I'm
You'll be there in
joking.
like 2 weeks. It'll be awesome.
No, 80,000. That's bad math. Anyway, so listen. What do I want to talk to you about the silence that I'm hearing? Okay,
Mm.
the silence on this shooter in Michigan.
Yeah.
Why is the administration so quiet right now? Why aren't they talking about this guy like they did about the other guy when they said the other guy was a liberal?
Yeah, because he was a Trump guy. Like I mean, there's lots of like, he had apparently a Trump van sign out front of his house. He was wearing a MAGA shirt that said "Make liberals cry" or some dumb shit like that. So it was one of their people, and I say their people. I don't really like that phrase anymore because like we're all each other's people, and we should stop separating each other aside for a second. But they got quiet real fucking fast when the shooting happened, and it was at a Mormon church in Michigan. They were like, these are attacks on Christianity. The left is attacking Christianity. That's all I heard for like 3 hours on Twitter. And then the minute this guy's name came out, it was complete silence. They move down to other stuff. So they are massive hypocrites. They want to blame the left for everything bad that happens in this country. And I can cite the data. I mean, I think everybody knows this, but like 70% of these kind of hate crimes that happen, if you want to call it a hate crime, I would argue it is, come from the right wing. 30% come from the left wing. In my opinion, that's too much on either side, and both sides should be trying to address it in reasonable ways. But the Republicans just want to blame it 100% on Democrats. They're like, everything they've said since Charlie Kirk's murder has been disgusting, in my opinion, in the way that they've tried to attack us. We don't even know the motivation of Kirk's shooter, by the way. We have no idea. The guy was not a Democrat.
Kirk's shooter.
Kirk's shooter. I'm going back to Kirk's shooter for a second.
Yeah.
The guy was not a Democrat. He shares no ideology with me, as far as I know.
You didn't hear that from the right at all.
Didn't hear what? No, I heard no. They've been out there saying that he's a card-carrying Democrat and that we got him killed. It's ridiculous.
Well, he's got his family's confirmed MAGA. Right.
He's an independent.
He's an independent, and he has a transgender girlfriend, but
we think that's based on the FBI. I don't even know if it's true.
Yeah. What do you think of all of this, like people writing stuff on bullets and the text messages? A lot of it seems really convenient to me.
I mean, it does happen. So I talked to my dad's a former FBI agent, so it does happen that people leave messages like that. The thing about it is, like, look, when you want to have qualified, trustworthy individuals in charge of certain departments, really every department, but certainly like the FBI, the DOJ, the people who are leading these investigations, so that when something bad happens and they need to educate the population to get you to trust them into the version of events that they believe happen, we don't trust Kash Patel. This guy has fucked up and is incapable of doing his job. He's unqualified for his job. He fucked up the Kirk shooter twice. He announced the Kirk shooter before they had them 2 different times, which is ridiculous. And so when he posted the bullet from Dallas that just said anti-ICE on it, I think rightly a lot of people were like, what the fuck? Like, one, why are you posting evidence in the middle of an investigation? 2, why would we trust you when you've made so many mistakes? Now, look, maybe that guy wrote anti-ICE on the bullet. I'll tell you that my immediate reaction to it was a regular person is not going to write anti-ICE. They might have written fuck ICE. They might have written abolish ICE. But are you going to tell me that guy wrote anti-ICE and then killed 3 migrants? Like, I don't understand that at all. So I'm skeptical, and I think I have a lot of reason to be skeptical given how these guys are handling the government.
Yeah, there's so many, we've gone off a little bit, but there's so many conspiracy theories. If you look at Glitter Girl, she said Kirk's alleged shooter did not do it. All of us in Utah know that. If it had been shot by 30-06, they would have needed DNA to identify him. There's so many conspiracy theories around his death.
Yeah, and the conspiracy theories are a direct reflection of the inability of this administration to be trustworthy. Like, if we had people in power who we trusted, who to handle this right, to do this right, we would believe the version of events, but a lot of people don't. Yeah. And the truth is, like, I don't know. I believe this guy probably killed Kirk. Like, I believe that that's probably right based on the evidence that they have, but there'll be a trial. So who knows? And he's not cooperating. Like, they're going to take this to trial.
And so we'll get to hear everything. We'll get to figure it out.
That's going to be a massive sideshow next year. I'm assuming that'll happen, Q1, Q2 of next year? That's how long it usually takes.
Oh, my gosh.
And they want to try him for the death penalty, too. So, like, I don't know.
And it's a firing squad in Utah.
Is it? Oh, fuck. That's awful.
It's a firing squad. Yeah.
Did you see MAGA world is all upset right now because Pope Leo spoke out yesterday? I don't know if you followed this at all, but Dick Durbin, senator from Illinois, got an award from a Catholic cardinal. And a lot of Catholics were really upset because Dick Durbin is pro-abortion. And somebody asked the Pope about it yesterday, I think, and he was like, look, you have to look at the whole of somebody's career, and the church may disagree with Dick Durbin on abortion, but if you want to call yourself pro-life, there's other aspects of the church beyond abortion. For instance, can you call yourself pro-life if you support the death penalty? Can you call yourself pro-life if you support the immigration policies that are happening in America today? And a lot of Christian nationalist MAGA guys are really upset at the Pope today for implying that they might not be pro-life if they support what's happening with the immigration policy, they support the death penalty. So I actually really appreciated that as a Catholic who struggles with my faith and where I am on things like abortion and the death penalty and stuff like that. I appreciated the nuance of the conversation from the Pope.
I don't even go there because I'm not in the body of the skin to make that decision. I'll never have to make that decision, right? And I can't say, if I was a woman, I would do that. I can't. So I leave it up to women to say, if they say they want autonomy and they want to have control of their own bodies and their own medical things, and that's on them. So I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna. So, you know, I have nothing to say about that. It's your choice, women. If you want to do it, that's your thing. I'm a man staying out of women's business, but I will fight for their right to be able to have bodily autonomy and to be able to have an abortion. But to make some sort of, judgment, religious or some sort of moral or spiritual judgment on it, that's not for me to
Yeah.
do.
I mean, my thing about it is like, what is government good at? What is government bad at? What should government be doing? What should government not be doing? And I don't think in any way the government should be telling women what to do with their bodies. Same way I don't think the government should be telling people who they can marry. I don't think the
Yeah.
government should be telling you whether or not you can transition if you feel like you're of another gender. Like, I just don't. That is not what government should be doing. And you can not like it. You have the right to not like it. Like Don, you and I have disagreements in our personal lives, probably on some level. If we really got into it all, you can live your life. I can live my life. I think that's fine. Like that's part of the value of this country is like you have freedom from certain things, but you also have freedom to do certain things. And that is have control over your life.
So I triggered a lot of the MAGA sphere because I was, of how I reported about the shooting. Who is responsible? Did you see that?
I saw somebody tweeted something that was like, you go home to a white man every night. And I was going to ask you about it.
Because I pointed out that most of the, political violence is committed by right wing folks who are radicalized to the right, and it's white
Yeah.
men. And I said, there's a problem that we have in this country when people who feel that they are aggrieved and that they're so aggrieved that they need to take it out with a gun. And so I was talking about political violence and shooters like the ones that, shot Charlie Kirk and et cetera. Man, you would have thought that I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised because back in 2019 when Christopher Wray said the same thing and I said it. Well, I said it first and then Christopher Wray said it. People wanted to, they wanted to have my head
Yeah.
because
They don't.
we're speaking
They don't want to
facts.
live in reality. They don't want to live
No,
in reality. And there's a massive problem. And look, it is with all young men. Like there are a lot of young men who are disaffected, lonely, isolated right now, very limited economic opportunities.
that's
And it's
true. But
taking it out on.
can I ask you something though? But a lot of the folks who feel that way are actually quite privileged. And I know some of them. And I'm like, wait, you have everything. You live on your parents' credit card. Like you got opportunities to be in corporate America because of who your mom or dads are, or your grandfather. Ah, What
Yeah,
am I missing?
but that's rarely of the case, I think, for the people that turn into like shooters and stuff like that. You right?
I
Unless you know
mean, I
something
don't
that I
know. I
don't know.
mean, this guy apparently the one who killed Charlie Kirk lived in a $600,000 or $700,000 6-bedroom home with his parents. I mean, I don't think he came from
Was it a
abject
farm
poverty.
though? It was like a farm, right?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know that part, but
Because
still,
sometimes when you do that, like the value of the farmland might be something, but they've got like a business on it. That's a just.
perhaps.
I'm out of my depth on talking about that, but I will say it's like there is an issue with young men, and young men lack quality role models that can show them how to be modern men. And their best role models are Andrew Tate, who blame everything on fucking women, and he's horrible. And then this is the first generation of young men that are going to make less money than their female counterparts. Women right now are twice as likely to graduate from college. They're twice as likely to own a home than young men of the same age, under 30, and that is a massive cultural, societal disruption. We shouldn't do anything to get in the way of it, to be clear. It's actually kind of amazing that we've made that type of progress. But there's a lot of young men that don't know how to deal with that. They just don't. The whole world has been built for men forever. And there's like now there's a turn of that for young men. And the only advice they're getting is from Andrew Tate, who was telling him to be violent with women, to be like, you can take whatever you want. You're a man. You can be violent, blah, blah, blah. It's like if Tim the Toolman Taylor was like evil from the 90s instead of like a genuinely good dad. So
No.
yeah, I mean, listen, don't
You're
ruin
talking
my
about
childhood,
Tim,
Doc.
the tool man, or the actual actor? I'm kidding. Go on.
Let's stick it in character. So I don't know. Is he that bad as a conservative? I just know he's more conservative oriented. I've never heard him say anything.
I don't really know. I'm just sort of making it, but I think
Okay.
that
It's kind of
yeah.
like Kelsey Grammer. I know him to be a conservative, but I'm like, I've never really heard him say anything that made me like, probably if somebody looks it up, they're gonna find one. But don't ruin Frasier for me. Like
Yeah. There was this one conservative actor, I forget his name, who's just a troll and he's always like drunk.
James
Um,
Woods. I you didn't have to say a lot. I know who you meant immediately. It's James Woods, Rob Schneider. Did you see? I did your friend Piers Morgan's show last week, and I know how much you love him. And Jimmy,
Actually, I genuinely liked Pierce until I don't understand what he was doing. I only went on the show because I knew him. I had a
yeah,
history with him. So I'm like, and then I was like, this show should be called Piers Morgan Clickbait.
It should be called Piers Morgan takes 10 minutes to ask you a fucking question. Because that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
he does. He'll like tee it up 10 minutes and then you have 30 seconds to respond. And I'm like, really? But anyway, I was on with Jimmy Falala or Falafel, whatever the fuck his last name is, the Fox News' comedian on Saturdays. They have like a comedy show that they do. And I genuinely had no idea who the fuck he was. So I was responding to something that he said. And I went, Johnny, I disagree with you. And Piers goes, his name's Jimmy. And I went, oh, sorry, I have no idea who you are. And then they got super mad at me because they were like, he's the funniest comedian in America today, like him and Matt Walsh. They were like, he's the funniest comedian in America today. He's got the Saturday Night Fox News show. And I'm sitting there going, if you're the funniest comedian in America and you're on the Saturday night comedy show on Fox, my guess is you're not that funny.
Wait, what's his name? And Matt Walsh. How do I know Matt Walsh?
Matt Walsh is CPAC, the founder of CPAC.
Oh,
Yeah. And then he's Mercedes is his wife, right? Mercedes.
no, is that Matt Walsh? Was that Matt Walsh?
Maybe not Matt Walsh. It was Matt Schlapp is who I mean. Matt
Yeah,
Schlapp.
yeah, that's Slap.
Yeah,
That's
Schlapp.
Slap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The panel was like
Hello
this
to the
Fox News
boys.
comedian guy, Matt Schlapp, some Biden advisor I've never heard of before, and then me. And I was like, what? And we were talking about like dumb shit. We're talking about Jimmy Kimmel and stuff. And I was like, what? Not that it's dumb shit. It was like a week old at that point. And I just like, what am I even doing here? That show is just so, but you know what? It's in the top 10 of podcast downloads right now. It's so popular right now.
Hey, I mean, look who the president is. So
I know.
And your point is,
Look who the front runner for the Democratic nomination is right now. It's Gavin Newsom, riding that high of his social media. Like that's basically it.
yeah. Oh, credibility. Someone said credibility, credibly accused of groping men. That's what Kiara Stroop says.
Oh, Matt Schlapp. Yep, that is true. That's like the one thing you're not allowed to say though on Piers Morgan Uncensored. That would get me kicked off the show right away.
What?
That if I just like brought up that he's credibly accused of groping young men on the show.
You can't bring that up?
I'm pretty sure that's the kind of thing that would get you booted.
Okay.
I know.
And there you go.
It's not a journalism show, my friend.
What do you think, Gavin? You think Gavin's doing a good job?
I've upgraded myself from Gavin hater.
Wait. I wish I could replay that reaction. That eye roll. I could hear your eyes going.
If Gavin Newsom is the next Democratic president, there's going to be so many clips that come back to haunt me because like I'm not his biggest fan, and like I'll begrudgingly say I've gone from hater to skeptic. I like what he's doing on social media. I'm glad that he's doing the gerrymandering stuff. I don't think he should be the face or the future of the Democratic Party, though. I think that would be a type of Democratic Party that I'm not particularly interested in being a member of.
Yeah. So I like Gavin Newsom. And he's a politician. I mean, if you put, had politician, if we still had encyclopedias, if you looked it up, it would be a picture of Gavin Newsom. Handsome, tall, smart, good hair, white teeth.
I mean,
don't hate.
I mean, good head of hair. Nice head of hair. Did you see? So I did this like two months ago. I was on Threads and I was stuck on the tarmac and I said, tweet me your front runner for the Democratic nomination. I will say one nice thing about them. And they would be like Gretchen Whitmer. And I would be like bold leader, like really good. They'd be like AOC. I love the way she brings people together. Pete Buttigieg, best talker in the party. Gavin Newsom, nice head of hair. For every single Gavin Newsom, I was just nice head of hair.
You're like Aretha Franklin when she was asked about Taylor Swift. She goes, "What do you think of Taylor Swift?" She goes,
"That's exactly what I was going for.
Beautiful gowns."
Beautiful gowns. Oh my God. And Taylor Swift took that personally because she changed her like entire persona around that.
Beautiful gowns. That was hilarious. No, what I was saying is the only time that I've ever been really critical of Gavin, 2 times. I don't know if I even really talked about the French Laundry thing because that was like, maybe that was a little in the weeds for me on CNN because every day during COVID there was something crazy. So I may have touched on it, but the only time I was ever critical of him was when the Charlie Kirk interview, the Steve Bannon interview, the podcast stuff. And I told him, I was like, I love that you're having conversations with these folks. I just want you to be able to challenge them a little bit more because look at the shit that they say. And so we'll see. I mean, but for a while there, his approval rating was not good because of that. But now he's riding high. So you know what?
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that you can kind of ride those waves and change your persona. Yeah. Like we're living a very like WWE style. You can make like gimmick changes and it works. By the way, somebody commented down here that I'm just jealous of Gavin Newsom's hair, and I'm like, please. Like I'm almost 40 and I got a full head of hair here. I'm
But
offended.
you don't have the.
Well, but that's a product thing. Like I could choose to roll this all the way back. Like I don't. It's not even coned right now. You saw
But
when you invited me to the Substack, I was sitting here going like this, trying to make it look nice.
But how white are your teeth? That's the thing.
Not as white as his. So my teeth are, however, as fake as his, though.
You think they're fake? Anyway.
Yeah, nobody has teeth that nice. That's like Joe Biden's choppers. Like those are not real.
Who is it? Someone we used to call choppers. There was someone we call some politician that we called choppers.
Mm.
And it was a Republican politician who had like really white teeth, and we go, "Oh God!"
Oh, was it Rick Perry?
Choppers.
Rick Perry had the whitest fucking teeth you've ever seen.
No, it wasn't Rick Perry. I'll remember who it is. I'll have to ask a friend. And
now, Rick Perry, there was a handsome politician. All right, not a lot going on up here, but very handsome.
You mean from Texas? You mean the Department of Education dude?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't remember the third one, dude.
The third, I don't know.
He was doing a debate or something. He goes, "Now there's three things."
There's three departments I'm going to eliminate: education. I don't
something
remember.
else.
I really don't remember.
And I can't remember.
Do you remember that though? What was great was I think Ron Paul was running, right? It was Ron Paul. It was 2012, right? And Ron Paul chimes in to helps him and gives him the wrong department. Good times.
Choppers was somebody. Maybe it was a CNN personality or something. But I had a producer. He would like in my ear. He goes, Choppers is on again.
Natasha says she wants Elizabeth Warren to be president. I love Elizabeth Warren. I'd run through a brick wall for her if I could. She's brilliant.
All right, enough of that. People are sick of us. Next week, same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel. Is that right?
That's right. All right.
Thank you, sir. And don't be jealous of Gavin Newsom's looks and hair.
I won't.
I'm sure you're taller, better looking.
I am not taller. I'm not better looking than Gavin Newsom. I'm very comfortable with how aggressively average I look. So.
We'll see you next time. Mike Nellis. Thank you.
Bye. Appreciate you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.